Welcome to the Daily Devotional Podcast with author, pastor, and speaker Zach Maldonado, a podcast about helping you know and enjoy Christ each day.
Is there anything better than Amazon Prime? I mean, one click and boom, basically the package is right at your door. You can barely make it to the door before the UPS guy is beating it down. But really, I remember a few years ago, I ordered some shoes for the first time online, and I was so eager to get them. I was pumped, and I rushed home from work, and there it was at my door, the Amazon box, and I picked it up, and I rushed inside, and I grabbed my knife and opened the box, and nothing. It was empty. I threw that thing down in disgust and thought, this box is worthless. And just as I was throwing a temper tantrum, I still do that. Don't judge me, okay? I heard a knock at the door, and it was the UPS man with a box in his hand, shoes inside. Apparently, someone had left an old box, I don't know, on my front step. Who knew? Here's the thing. That Amazon box is worthless apart from what it carries inside. I learned that the hard way, right? But when the Amazon box has something inside, the box takes on the value of what it carries. The box is made to carry something. That's its purpose. And you know where I'm going with this. Just like the box, apart from Christ, we really don't have much value or purpose. We're empty. We're lifeless. But the good news is, as believers, we're never apart from Christ. And Christ is always in us. In Him, we've been wonderfully made, and now we have great value and worth. Our purpose is to have Christ in us. We're made for it. We're designed for it. We're built for it. And now, since we do, we're able to be used in incredible ways. Not only that, but we're able to know Christ more intimately than we ever have. Christ and God designed us to have intimate relationship. And the purpose and goal of our life is just to know Him more. And so what is our worth? Well, God says you're as valued as Jesus is to God, that you're worth Jesus to Him, that God didn't need us, but He wanted us, so much so that He sent His Son to rescue us and then infuse us with His own life. What I'm most thankful for is that even when we were a box without purpose, Jesus came and He died for us. He came to give us meaning and value and love. He didn't throw us aside and give up on us. He pursued us and saved us. He didn't pick us up and throw us down and say worthless. Instead, He saw us. He loved us. He picked us up, and He gave us infinite worth. And now He looks at you and me and He says, worthy, wonderfully made. And because of that, we're His instrument. He wants to use us. You know, I used to struggle, and I still do, with wanting to get my worth from what people say about me. I long to be affirmed in things I do. It feels good. But the thing I keep learning time and time again is that affirmation and worth from others, they fade. They fade. Beautiful thing about God is that He declares us worthy long before we do anything from Him. That God's affirmation and worth never fades. It's the only thing that will ever satisfy our need to be known and affirmed. God's not asking you to do things in order to be worthy. He's asking you to live out of the worth He's already given you. And everything we do, we can know we have the value we need in Him. I once heard a story of a speaker who held up a $100 bill before an audience and asked, who would like this? Of course, everyone in the crowd raised their hand. Then he proceeded to crumple up the $100 bill. He then asked, who still wants it? All the hands raised again. He threw the bill on the floor and stomped on it and with his shoe, and he picked it up and said, who still wants it? And the hands all were raised. You see, none of that abuse altered the value of that bill. Its worth didn't change based on what it had been through. The same is true of us. No matter our thoughts, no matter our sins, no matter what others think of us, no matter what things have been done to us, our value and our worth are unchanging. God is passionate about healing our hurts. He's freed us from the damage and hurt that we've gone through, and He's working to show us how He is enough in our hurt. I always thought that I was damaged goods. I always thought I wasn't worthy of love, that I didn't deserve love. I always believed that if people knew who I really was, that They wouldn't like it. They would treat me poorly. But what I've come to discover is that the real me, the real you, as Hebrews 10:14 says, is perfect, is flawless, is a masterpiece. And although my pain and your hurt is real, God's grace and healing are just as real. No abuse, no hurt, no sin, nothing can change the meaning and value God has given me or you. We're brand new. Nothing can change that. We're made in God's image. This means you look like God. And if he likes what he sees, who are we to disagree? When God created the entire earth, he called it good. But when God created humanity, he called us very good. You're not just good in God's eyes. You're very good. So ditch the lie that says you're bad, wicked, or dirty, and embrace the truth that you are good, that you are worthy, and that you are wonderfully made.
You've been listening to the Daily Devotional Podcast with Zach Maldonado. Join us each day for a new devotional that will help you know and enjoy Christ. For more great content from Zach, including his books, sermons, and more, check out ZachMaldonado.com.